What's going on, beautiful people? It's Lamont Cordell back with another video, and today's topic of conversation is what excuses are holding you back from being successful? Like I said, welcome back. And today's topic is a very, very vital one. I think it's what stops most people from being successful in anything they want to do, right? This is the thing. If you're like most people, you have a dream, right? Well, on the same hand, or at the same token, if you're like other people, you also have an excuse as to why you're not pursuing that dream. What is yours? You don't have the money, you don't have the resources, you don't have the support, your circumstances don't permit, or is it the grandfather of all excuses, the worst one possible? This is just the way that things have always been. I'm not saying your excuse isn't good or isn't valid, but what I am telling you is the world and the universe play no favorites. You get out of this life what you put into it. There are plenty of men and women that have lived through circumstances that should have probably or could have probably led them to lead lackluster lives, but they came out on the opposite end of it successful. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. At a very young age, she was sexually abused by those that were supposed to love her. She had a child at the age of 14, and not long after she had that child passed. And not only that, once she felt she had her wings under her and she found what she thought was her calling, she got fired from one of her very first jobs for being unfit for TV. Could you imagine that? Oprah Winfrey, unfit for TV? Now, she is one of the most successful women that we know in history, and she has her own television channel. No pun intended. Another wonderful example of this is J.K. Rowling. That's the author of the wonderful series Harry Potter. Now, we can all at least agree that we've read the books or watched the movies. I think the movies are fantastic, but they do the books absolutely no justice. But at the moment in which she was ready to release the very first Harry Potter book, she had just been recently divorced, she barely had enough money to feed her 3-year-old, and didn't even have enough money to photocopy the first book of the Harry Potter series, so she had to type out each book individually in order to hand them out to the publishers that she was trying to get to print her book. That is insane. Now, not only is she successful, she happens to be one of the most giving people amongst the celebrity community. And last but not least, you can't leave out Colonel Sanders. This man was 40 years old when he started making his world famous chicken that started the global franchise, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Basically what I'm saying is we're all dealing with our own BS, but you do not have to let your circumstances become the narrative for your future. You have to develop a can-do attitude and have a positive attitude about yourself as well. Most of the conversations that we have in a day are with ourselves. Sadly, about 95% of that conversation is negative in nature. At the first sight of complications or anything that makes us step outside of our comfort zone, we immediately seek shelter and start to tell ourselves this narrative that maybe the things that we're pursuing are not meant for us. If you feel like I'm describing you, don't beat yourself up about it. We all do it. Take my YouTube channel, for example. When I first started my channel, I was telling everybody this is going to be my next big thing. You can see me talk about it in other videos, but legitimately it's taken me up to a year plus for me to be sitting in front of this camera right now talking to you about what I'm talking to you about because of all the excuses I had given myself. I didn't have the proper lighting. I didn't have the proper camera, the lens, the microphones, all the things, the little things that really don't make that much of a difference. But to me, it was an excuse for me to not be able to or have to start this because, to be perfectly honest, I didn't think my content would be worth it or enough. But I'm not the one that should be judging that. I should, if this is something I want to do, pursue it and allow it to flourish and see if it's going to take off on its own. The problem is we're not taught to believe and understand that everything is meant for us. But in order to obtain those things that we're pursuing, those dreams we're trying to capture, it takes a little bit of hard work and a whole lot of consistency. At the end of the day, if you're not willing to apply those two things, it's not the excuses that you have identified that are hindering you from capturing your dream. Maybe, just maybe, what you consider to be your dream isn't actually your dream. This is the thing. We have plenty of people in our lives that are people that we love, or influencers that kind of try to guide us in the direction that they think is proper for us. And we tend to take that advice. They do it out of love. They don't mean to steer you in the wrong direction. But the problem is we end up pursuing something that isn't true to who we are. And the thing is, you will never do anything wholeheartedly that isn't something that you love or something that you really, really want to do. For those that have truly identified their passion, and it's not easy. You're not gonna wake up one morning, stretch, get out of bed, and say to yourself, you know what, for the rest of my life, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. To be perfectly honest, what you end up doing is probably gonna be the last thing you've ever seen yourself doing. But this message is for those that have identified that. Fuck your excuses, okay? This is the thing. You have to understand that if you're willing to work at it, go after it, ask for it, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get it. Understand that if you spent 1 year, just 1 year, researching and putting the things that you learned into action, that you could be an expert at the end of that year in whatever field that you're trying to learn. Not only that, if you were to simply take 5 years and do the exact same thing, you'd be in the top 5% of that field. It's insane to think that, but it's completely possible. Again, all it takes is a little consistency and effort, and before you know it, top 5%. The real question you should be asking yourself is, why are you still making excuses instead of executing? Les Brown once said that if you died today, what books, businesses, pieces of technology, movies will have not been created because they died with you? Now, stop making excuses. Get up, get out, and go create your own legacy. You have the ability to live your dreams. All you have to do is work hard until you win. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you tuning in and listening to me talk for however long this video is. I appreciate your time. Please leave a comment letting me know what I can do better to fix these videos or make them better. Keeping it positive. Tell me what I'm doing right as well if you see that I'm doing something right. Subscribe, like this video, share it with a friend, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Peace, love, and happiness, y'all. Oh, I almost forgot. So, I said that in my last video I was going to do a monthly book review. Well, next month, the book review is going to be on this book right here. Everything is Fucked. Alright, now the reason I chose this one is because I read the first one and I hope you read it too. It's an amazing book. It's by Mark Manson, and I really, really enjoyed that first book, and I'm hoping that this one can stand up to it. But the reason why I'm letting you know what book I will be reviewing is just in case you want to take that book, read it yourself. That way you can follow along with the review and possibly leave some comments letting me know if there was anything that you liked or you felt could have been done better in this book. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Like I said, peace, love, and happiness, y'all.